With American Advanced Tree, and today we are going to go over tree planting basics. Okay, so what I have for you here is 5 tips for planting your basic tree. Of course, this is inside on the drawing board classroom course material here. Okay, so you have 5 basic planting tips. One, you want to make sure you get a good quality nursery stock. You just want to have a good quality plant. Usually nurseries that are a good place to get those. They have normally they have a much better selection than, say, for example, if you go out in the woods and pluck one up, between 2 trees, it's probably going to be better suited, for something from a nursery. Okay, so next is site location. You want to make sure that you're, especially if you're a beginner, you want to make sure that you're planting a tree on a relatively flat location. You don't want any hills or anything like that, because then you start getting technical and you have to build berms and things like that to catch water for water basins and things like that. So this here is pretty basic flat level ground type planting here. So that will bring us to a third tip here, fill dirt prep. Now, I actually like to use a 4-part mix here. I was actually taught by a national horticulturist to use leaf mold, pine bark soil conditioner, compost and manure, which is animal poopy, fill soil, and planting soil. So that fill soil and planting soil, what I'll do is I will take all these together, these 3 components, add the soil that comes out of this hole, and mix this all together, and that's this that we'll put back in here. Okay, and we'll actually fill it up to the sides here. Okay, so again, here's our basic tree, right? It's sitting in a pot, or say for example this is the root ball. What we're going to do is here it's in a pot. Here we need to remove that pot, so we basically have just a root ball. Okay, now as you can see, the root collar here, when I put this thing in the ground, the root collar is going to be above grade a couple inches. Now the reason we want that to happen is because this is soil, right? And as time progresses, it's going to compact even further than it is with you compacting it by using a soil compaction tool or simply stepping on it, because that's the fastest way to do it. So again, we're gonna put, this is our soil here. This is our soil mixture that we've already made. We'll set the plant on top of it, again looking for that root collar just to be above ground level. Okay, once we get that in place, we're going to fill the rest of it with the fill soil that we've already made. And if you run out, you just got to make more, man. That's the only option. So after we've installed the plant above the root collar, we're going to secure this tree. We want to make sure that this tree is secure. We do that by a process called guying. And what that is basically we're going to take 3 different locations in the tree, and then we're just going to secure it to the ground, okay, using stakes or sticks, whatever good source you got. Okay, and it's normally good to do that in 3 different directions because you can get a real good solid secure method that way, and that'll protect from winds and things like that to keep it from blowing over. And you want to leave that up for a season or so because this root ball is going to have roots that have been cut, broken, or pruned if it's been transplanted. So the good thing here is this guying will allow these roots to go through this fresh soil that's very rich in nutrients, and those roots are going to find their way to this harder ground back here. Okay, so with that, this tree is going to be set up, and then probably within a season or 2, you can remove these guys. And actually, they now make ties. This part they actually make biodegradable, so you can kind of just put it there and leave it. If you're doing industrial work or contract work, you don't have to worry about going to get straps or worrying about it growing up around the stems of the tree, things like that. So there you have it. 5 tips for planting a good healthy tree that's going to stay there, and you can get paid for this. Quality nursery stock. You want a good plant. You want to make sure you got a good site location. You want to start out planting on level plains just because that's the easiest. You're going to have the most success there. Field dirt prep. Again, going over the field dirt prep, we're going to use leaf mold. We're going to use pine bark soil conditioner, compost and manure, animal poopy, and field soil, planting soil, which is this soil here. We take these 5 parts, put them together, mix them up, put them back. Okay, there you have it. Kevin at American Advanced Tree. Basic tree planting